I've called NIO an IDE before. That stands for Innovative Driven Enterprise. And I'll link this, which is where I got it from. There's actually a book that I've got. It's called Disciplined Entrepreneurship. It was written by a senior lecturer at MIT. And one of the things that he talked about is the difference between an SME and an IDE. The SME is a small, medium enterprise. And as you see here, this is the kind of growth trajectory that you can have from that kind of a business. An IDE, an innovative driven enterprise, is, in my view, sort of the way that I'm looking at it is it has a larger potential global footprint, which means more money, more potential profit over the course of time. But if you'll note here, the growth trajectory is negative for a while before exploding up positively. And that's one of the reasons I chose this company, NIO and NIO Stock. Also, I'm going to do this in a different video. I'm going to pull some different companies like Apple, NVDA, Tesla, NIO, maybe a couple of others as well, maybe Netflix, maybe Amazon. And what I'll do is I'll actually break down, we'll look at the bigger picture history of fails to deliver, the FTDs, when there could have been naked shorting going on earlier on with those companies before they had that exponential growth following profitability. I do think there's an indicator and something that we can kind of recognize. So I'm hoping to connect some dots, but I'll do that in a future video. However, I wanted to move over now to, there are two things I want to talk about. The first is this. This is from the most recent earnings call from the transcript, and this is in line with that growth trajectory. And this is the kind of thing that I like to see and hear from William Lee and NIO. He says, as we rolled out our business and the network, we came to realize that the network effect of the power swap station actually has a very significant meaning to the boost of sales volume. In that case, we are more active in installing power swap stations even ahead of the actual need. So this was, I remember when this happened, I think a lot of us were expecting much bigger delivery numbers. And then instead of big delivery numbers, we saw a much bigger rollout and build out of infrastructure on the power swap stations. And I think some people were very frustrated by that. I really wasn't sure what to think at that point, but now maybe we're getting some dots connected here. Let me read on. He says, the swap stations deployed in advance also bring additional losses or burden to the business. So in the short term, again, we're talking about this is part of the build out, the expansion, what many, especially bears, like to call cash burn. It's actually investment for future profits so that you can see this explosion up over time for the business. But let me finish this thought and then we'll move on. He said, if we look at the power swap station itself, it's not far away from break even and profitability. Yet considering its actual contribution to the sales volume, we decided to deploy many stations in advance. And this is part of what caused the losses on the business. So again, it's in line with the concept overview that I have for this company as an IDE. I would prefer, I don't mind if it takes longer. I would prefer for NIO to do more investment early on, even if it means profitability is further away, because when they hit profitability, I'll be looking for that explosive, surprising to many, perhaps, growth and profit that'll be much stronger than folks are really prepared for. And that's one of the things that I'm excited about. But now this is the other thing I wanted to highlight, also from the most recent earnings call. And this, I think, will come into play, and it's definitely worth monitoring. This is really a part of a piece of the tech stock or the tech play that NIO has. So them developing the Sky operating system, the SkyOS, and the fact that it's going to be rolled out with the sub brands, I think that is a huge value play for NIO over the course of the long term. And we'll probably see it start to become apparent in 2025 once Firefly comes out. Of course, Onvo is about to be released with delivery starting here any day. And it is September, about the middle of the month as I'm recording this. So let me get back to this and read what he had to say. Regarding SkyOS, it's the world's first full domain vehicle operating system. That is the special thing with SkyOS, which is also the difficulty or the challenge we faced when developing the SkyOS. Because when it comes to the era of the smart electric vehicle, we cannot use the fragmented operating system to manage the electric architecture of the car anymore. With that, we developed the SkyOS. So again, I'm going to pause and come back here. I'm going to keep harping on this because for me, this is the key. I don't mind seeing this as long as later we see this. That was the goal. And it's consistent with what I'm hearing from William Lee from NIO and what I think we're seeing slowly develop. But back to the comments now. He says it comes at 3 levels. At the bottom, we have the SkyOS H, that is the hypervisor. And in the middle, we have 4 kernels of the Sky, or for the SkyOS. On the top, we have SkyOS middleware. So it's a very comprehensive solution we have developed. We've used the 4 years with 20,000 personnel with this or for this great work. In terms of its benefit, the SkyOS is definitely making the car safer and more secure. It also makes the system stable, and it also helps to realize a more efficient R&D process and iteration process. So again, these are the kinds of things that they've been working out and through that should yield more profits later. He says it also helped us solve the problems faced by the smart electric vehicles, like huge data throughput, domain cost, domain fusion, and also the latency among the communication, because we know that it's impossible to realize such benefit by simply working on the application. We need to do something at the foundational level, and we are very happy that we have made it happen. The SkyOS will be applied to our other brands, including NIO Onvo and Firefly. We can say that SkyOS is a software cornerstone for our future products and development. That's huge. I don't know if anyone else is talking about it, but I wanted to highlight it. And now let's have a little fun, because the most recent video I came out with was my NIO sentiment check, and I shared 4 folks who have done a review on the NIO Onvo, the L60 that is about to be released. And this was in the comment section. The response was, I have yet to literally sit in my car waiting for my Tesla to charge. Maybe I'm more prepared than others. I love it when I see comments like this, because it gives me a chance to engage in dialogue and ask questions and learn. So I asked, share, or kind of suggested, but kind of asked, share your charging experiences. What is the shortest time and what is the longest time it has ever taken for you to charge your Tesla? And from what percent to what percent? Thanks. I love the opportunity to do a little market research when I can. I use the comments for that. Also, I don't know if you want to call this trolling, but I went to a couple of Mr. P videos, comment sections. I see the trolls in them, and sometimes I like to troll them. In this case, this one, this Man stock is one I removed a while back from my channel. And this is why a lot of negativity over and over and over constantly showed up in videos. I finally got tired of it and said, you're gone. I'm glad. I think they can get away with it with Mr. P's videos because he's not as active in the comment section. And so maybe he lets them stick around more. Maybe it even helps with the algorithm. I don't know. This is another one that I've removed. And in fact, I was going to click on it and show you what I can see. But there's some words, and the picture itself is just kind of gross. So I decided not to highlight that. Anyway, that was just a brief look through the comments section and have a little fun with things, because it's all market research. It's part of sentiment. I'm always curious when, and I certainly don't mind when someone has a different opinion, but I like to ask questions to get a sense of where they're coming from. Or in some cases, it seems like some might even be paid by shorts to be there, or perhaps they're working for firms that are shorting a stock. I don't have any way to prove that. I'm just speculating. At the bottom of the screen, it's on the ticker right there, not financial advice. But no, I'll come back with more content. I wanted to highlight this, though, those points from the earnings call, and the importance for me anyway of recognizing this at, I think, still a very early stage as an IDE with a huge growth trajectory potential. However, it may take more time, and I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. That's kind of what I signed up for. And I think these can be huge gainers, major multi-baggers, and that's what I'll share in a video. I think it'll be fun to dig into the FTDs to see how kind of the short thesis plays in early on, and then how once the short thesis is crushed by these companies that are successful, how their stock prices can really soar. But anyway, let me wrap this in, get it up and out. Thanks. Have a great day. Have a great week, and I'll see you all again very soon.